The dust in the sub-basement of Yale's Sterling Memorial Library didn't smell like dirt. It smelled like time, a scent of decaying paper, old leather, and iron gall ink. For Dr. Elara Vance, a paleographer, it was the smell of home. While the world outside obsessed over the future, Elara dedicated her life to deciphering the past. She was hunched over a 14th century monastic ledger. But it wasn't the main text that held her captive. It was what lay hidden between the lines. Under her UV lamp, the vellum page revealed a secret. A second layer of text, written in a sympathetic ink that had only now become visible. It was a cipher. Guard the truth. Silence is the shield, she whispered, transcribing the strange symbols. In the margins, she noticed a recurring motif. A quill pen crossed with a needle, a symbol she'd seen once before in a fragmented diary from a bombed-out church in London. Suddenly, the heavy oak door at the top of the stairs creaked. It was 2 a.m. Even the janitors were gone. Elara snapped off the UV light, hiding the secret once more. She heard footsteps heavy, deliberate, and descending. She quickly packed the ledger into her bag just as a man stepped into the light of her desk lamp. He wore an expensive but ill-fitting suit, like he was used to wearing armor. "Dr. Vance," he said, his voice like grinding gravel. "You have found the thread." "I don't know who you are," Elara said, standing, her hand gripping her bag. "Security is on speed dial. Security cannot help you against the erasure," the man said calmly. "My name is Silas, and I am here because you solved the cipher of the Scriveners. That makes you a liability to them, or a sister to us." Elara asked, her academic curiosity overriding her fear. "That's a myth, a bedtime story about monks who hid real history." Silas gave a sad, weary smile. "History is not what happened, Doctor. History is what is written down, and for 2,000 years, we have ensured that the ink tells the truth, while the world believes the lie." Silas led her out of the library through a hidden service exit to a waiting black sedan. Her every instinct screamed not to get in, but the ledger in her bag felt like a magnet, pulling her toward an unknown destiny. They drove 4 hours, deep into the wooded hills of Connecticut, stopping at an unassuming farmhouse that was, in reality, a fortress. "Welcome to the Loom," Silas said, leading her into a high-tech basement lab that put Yale's facilities to shame. Inside, a dozen people worked with forensic intensity, repairing, scanning, and analyzing ancient texts. In the center of the room, a massive circular table was covered in red, gold, and black threads, connecting maps, manuscripts, and digital screens into a vast web of information. "The world believes the Library of Alexandria burned," Silas said, gesturing to a charred but legible scroll in a glass case. "It did not. We saved the core." A woman's voice cut through the air. "We guard history. We don't curate it." She stepped forward, elegant and leaning on a silver-topped cane. "I am Julian, the head archivist. You see, Elara, there are foresees. Call them the Revisionists. Wish to edit the past to suit their future. They don't burn books anymore. They buy the publishing houses, alter digital archives, and change the narrative until truth becomes propaganda." Julian pointed to Elara's bag. "That ledger contains the location of the Codex Aeterna, the master list of every truth the Scriveners have ever protected. If the Revisionists find it, they will destroy everything. They were tracking your IP address at the library. You triggered their alarm." Elara felt a cold chill. "What do I do?" "You must finish what Brother Thomas started," Julian said. "The cipher leads to a vault. You must get there before they do." The cipher pointed to coordinates beneath the Old North Church in Boston. Elara and Silas arrived under the cover of a fierce storm. "The Revisionists will be watching," Silas warned, revealing a handgun tucked in his jacket. They entered the church as tourists, slipping into the crypts as the guards changed shifts. Down in the stale, dusty air, Elara's SUV flashlight found it. The symbol of the needle and the quill on the wall of a forgotten tomb. "Here," she whispered. She pressed the stone, but it didn't move. "It's a lock," she realized. "A needle." She pulled an antique hatpin from her lapel and inserted it into a tiny fissure. With a twist, a click echoed through the crypt, and the stone wall swung inward. Inside the small chamber, an iron box rested on a stone pedestal. The Codex. Silas breathed. Suddenly, a deafening boom shook the foundation. Dust rained from the ceiling. "They found us," Silas barked. "Grab the box." Elara seized the box as men in tactical gear swarmed the hallway. Silas raised his weapon. "Go," he shouted, pushing her toward a crumbled ventilation shaft. "I will hold the line. The narrative must survive." "I can't leave you," she cried. "I am just a footnote, Elara," Silas roared back with a fierce warrior's smile. "You are the author now. Write the ending." As Silas opened fire, drawing their attention, Elara scrambled into the dark, damp tunnels. She crawled through Old Boston, the sounds of gunfire fading behind her, clutching the iron box, with tears streaming down her face. Hours later, she emerged from a storm drain near the harbor, in a cheap motel room, with the door barricaded. She opened the box. Inside was not gold or jewels, but a stack of leather-bound papers. As she read, her breath caught. It was a history no textbook had ever printed. The true reasons for wars, the actual inventors of world-changing technologies, the secret treaties signed in blood. It was the raw, unpolished, beautiful, and terrible truth of humanity. Her phone buzzed. An unknown number. She answered. "Dr. Vance," a smooth, synthetic voice said. "We can make you very wealthy. Just ban the box." "Who are you?" "We are the editors. The world is chaotic. Doctor, people cannot handle the truth. We offer a clean, simple narrative. Why burden them with reality?" Elara looked at the papers, at the stories of forgotten heroes and hidden sacrifices. "Because the truth belongs to the dead," she said, her voice steady, "and I am their Scrivener." She hung up and smashed the phone. 3 months later, Elara stood at a podium in the University of Vienna. She looked different, harder, more alert. "History," she began, "is often described as a tapestry, but tapestries can be unraveled." An image appeared on the screen behind her. The hidden text from the Yale ledger. "Recently, a cache of documents was released anonymously on the internet," she said. "Documents that challenge our understanding of the last 5 centuries. Some call them forgeries. I call them the threads. And it is our duty to pull them, no matter what unravels." In the back row, a man in a charcoal suit nodded, tapping a small pin on his lapel, a quill and a needle. After the lecture, Elara walked not to her hotel, but down a narrow alley to an antique bookshop. "I have a delivery," she told the shopkeeper. "For one." "For the Brotherhood." The shopkeeper smiled and pressed a hidden latch. A bookshelf swung open, revealing a staircase descending into darkness. The Revisionists were still out there, but the Scriveners had something stronger. They had the ink. And ink, once dried, is very hard to wash away. Elara descended into the darkness, a guardian of truth, ready to weave the next chapter. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more.